So, what's up YouTube? What's up Twitch chat? Playing through some Rakdos Shadow for our first league today. Basically just greenless Jund Shadow, taking out the Tarmogoyfs, replacing them with like some Detectives Phoenixes. We'll just go ahead and go through the list and so you can see what's going on, and then we'll hop into the league. So first off, we are running 3 completely different MDFCs. Ebu, thank you so much for the Twitch Prime sub. Greatly appreciate it. Welcome to the subscribers. Enjoy access to all of our sweet custom Death Shadow emotes. Bam. Okay. 3 distinct MDFCs. I was thinking of like if I wanted to max out on one or the other, but I just kept coming up with reasons to not run a bunch of one. Like, I don't want 3 Sundering Eruptions in my primarily black deck. Boggart Trawler's kind of cool, but if you're not up against a Grave deck, it's a 3-1 Mopey Body. Fellow Profane's cool, but it is an expensive removal spell. So I decided to just split it up and see what happens. We'll try them all, see if any really shine. Other than that, 4 Blood Crypt, a Raucous Theater, some Swamps to help out with Blood Moons. 4 Bauble, 4 Wraith, mostly for our Nethergoyf package. 2 Battle Rage, 4 Shadow, 4 Nethergoyf, 4 Orcish Bowmaster, 3 Detectives Phoenix as our threat package. Technically a troll. We can, in fact, hard cast it. But mostly the troll is here for enabling Detectives Phoenix. If you have not seen Detectives Phoenix before, it is a 3-mana Phoenix that you can bestow for 1 red and collect evidence 6. So exile total cards with CMC 6 or more from your graveyard. And you give something +2/+2. It enchants onto a creature, gives +2/+2 flying and haste. And you can bestow from your graveyard. So the idea being, if you get out like a Shadow or Nethergoyf or something, bestow a Phoenix onto it, you got a nice evasive attacker. Cards like Troll of Khazad-dûm and Street Wraith do a fantastic job of making sure the Phoenix is only exiling like a card or 2 from your graveyard, so it doesn't affect your Nethergoyf too much. Got 4 copies of Orcish Bowmaster because it's our best card we unfortunately have access to against like the control decks, against any of the One Ring decks. 4 Thoughtseize, 4 Bolt, 3 on. Like, there's like a bit of a weird split with interaction here, and I'll go through those real quick. So Unholy Heat, I think, is like the best removal spell that the red decks that care about Delirium have access to. It does hit like Flage, it hits Flip to Johnny, hits Teferi, hits basically any creature out there. It really does a number on Psychic Frog. We've got 1 Dismember to help out with like our Battle Rage Shadow strategies, as well as add a 3 CMC card to the yard early for Phoenix. Terminate, just a catch-all removal spell. Molten Collapse. This is one that people are constantly, like every video I post with red and black in it, like try Molten Collapse, try Molten Collapse. I hate sorcery speed with a passion. I think that is like the bane of what you can be doing, because it takes away your ability to interact when you want to interact at the most opportune time and says you have to interact here. But people want to try it against like energy decks because it does blow up the Static Prison, as well as take out a creature. You can take out a Murktide, take out a Frog, whatever. So we'll give it a shot. We'll see what happens. Make our judgment afterwards. 1 Colligan's Command, mostly because I had an extra slot left over, but it also lets you get a 3 CMC card in the yard, maybe get back a Troll for an extra land, get back a Shadow or a Nethergoyf from the yard, get back a Bowmaster to help outvalue your opponent a little bit. In the sideboard, we've got 3 copies of Break the Ice, an Illness in the Ranks, 2 Obsidian Charmal, 2 Pyroclasm, 3 Magebane Lizards, like, don't have great interaction for Storm in red and black. 1 Unlicensed Hearse, a Damping Sphere, and 2 Cast into the Fire to help out with some of the ring matchups. That's about it all we got for going over the deck list. So let's go ahead and jump into a league. And we'll be talking stuff like Duskmorn spoilers today. Mind taking a look at my take later. Want to add some Phoenixes over the seal and something. Love Lily too much. Well, let's take a look at it. 4 Blood Crypt, 4 Mire, 2 Trawler, 3 Polluted Delta, Rocket Theater, 2 Sun Eruption, a Swamp. Claim to Fame, Dismember, Fatal Push, Liliana the Veil. The only, like, downside, I think, to Liliana is it is horrendous against the Boros energy decks. Like, they go so wide so quick that a Liliana down tick is just dead. Can be a liability against, like, Reanimator, but... Molten Collapse, Lightning Bolt, Seal of Fire. You're going, like, hard in on Nethergoyf. Oops, It is kind of weird to see, like, going so hard in on Nethergoyf, but not running Unholy Heat in any number. That seems like it would be an auto include. Starting off with some Gorios. Andy, what's up? Solemn, greatly appreciate it. Goryo's definitely a rough matchup. Let's see what we find. Bowmasters is a good pickup, though. Not Goryo's. Is Twiddle Storm. So do I want to just take the wish? Like, they're going to get a bunch of mana. And I've got multiple untap effects. So yeah, we'll just take the payoff. Come back here. Top deck in Otawara. If they go for, like, Twiddle my Blood Crypt, I'll bolt myself so I can get Shadow down. Or Dream's Grip. Yeah. I really wish Twiddle effects worked. So that if the permanent was tapped, it got untapped. And not you get to choose whether or not to tap or untap. You don't like Inquisition of Kozilek? Not particularly. The fact that it misses, like, the One Ring, misses Solitude, Scion of Draco, Leyline Binding, like the cards that you have the most trouble dealing with, it whiffs on. And that's kind of a very big downside of the card. Inquisition seems mad. I would rather play Duress. It's probably pretty close between Duress and Inquisition. Like, Duress being really dead. So, the meta right now... I had a comment on one of my videos. It was like, you can't have a meta for a few weeks. And I don't think that's necessarily true. I think you can have a meta before then. It might not be the most defined meta, but I absolutely think you can have one. And I think the meta right now is such that Boros energy is such a high quantity that you have to have a game plan against that. Underworld Breach, pretty good top deck for them. So we do have some sideboard tech for this. We've got Magebane Lizard. We've got Cast into the Fire for the 1 ring. We've got Damping Sphere. Unlicensed Hearse. Dibble's Trickery was banned pretty quick after printing, but that was definitely a meta. Right. Like, you can have a meta. It might not be a drawn-out, time to adjust, time to even things out meta, but you can absolutely have a meta. So this is mill their whole library and make blue mana, right? Like, I'm safe to scoop, deterministic, because they can just float 3, use 2 to Tome Scour themselves twice, use 1 to Twiddle the Lotus Field, keep going, and eventually hit Thassa's Oracle. Pretty positive I'm safe to scoop. Because the Tome Scour makes sure that they have enough cards in their graveyard to not have to mill, or to not have to exile the important stuff to Underworld Breach. We got Cast in the Fire, Damping Sphere, Magebane Lizard, Unlicensed Hearse. Board out some of these completely dead removal spells. Remember, Hooligan's Command can potentially rebuy a threat, but that's about it. All right. I'm pretty happy with that sideboard exchange. I feel like that was pretty 1-for-1. Break the Ice. I know they play that Temple. Or the Desert. Whatever it is. Deserted. It's literally Deserted Temple. It is a desert temple. But I think that's the only thing that Break the Ice can hit. And they're probably not running like 4 of them. So. If they're running 4 and there's a good chance that they'd see it, I might consider Break the Ice. Just like slow down a Lotus Field by a turn. Is this a trap hand? I feel like this is a trap hand. Get a Blood Crypt. Cycle a Troll for a land. Is Death Shadow any good right now? You probably get that kind of question a lot. I mean, if you want to make Death Shadow good, it can be good. Like, there's not really a great answer for it. The deck's very adaptable. I feel like this is such a trap hand. When I say trap hand, I just mean like a hand that looks good because you see, oh, I got spells I can cast. I've got ways to get my mana online. I've got some filtering. I've got a sideboard card. But I just don't think this hand wins this match. I'm gonna toss back the no-lander. All right. think that first one was garbage. I don't think it was garbage. I just don't think it was winning that match or winning this match. Like, where would you stick it in a tier list? So, I get that it's not the answer you want to hear, but I think you throw Shadow out the window when it comes to tier lists because there's just like 75 different ways to build the deck. And you could say, oh, Grixis is C tier and Dimir is A tier and Jund in the right meta is B plus tier. And just like none of it really means anything. Hey, look, a lizard. Garbage is aggressive. It was good hand, but versus Twiddle it was bad. Yeah, I mean, like, it had some pieces that were nice. I just don't think those pieces were cohesive enough together to win that one. I don't mind you digging at all. Like, I'm all for people asking questions. I think it's a reasonable question to ask. I just think that, like, we are the archetype that is so varied across the board that it's really difficult to give any sort of effective answer as to, is it good, is it bad? Because, like, Jund Shadow versus Grixis versus Dimir versus Orzhov are so vastly different in their matchup spread that it's very, very difficult to have, like, a deterministic answer. Am I just phoenixing up my lizard? It's the same damage if I phoenix up the lizard versus, like, I guess it's one more for the bowmaster. I'll hold up and get the bowmaster down. Do we not have the best deck command anymore? Rubal, thank you so much for the follow. Hope you're having an awesome, awesome Sunday wherever you're at in the world. Like, you do well with Shadow, no one else. Very little people do well with Death Shadow. I want to know why. Man, I just clicked through consider because I was reading that. Sorry. That certainly doesn't help the argument. I think a lot of, like, doing well or not with Shadow, one comes down to having a game plan and not getting stuck in, like, I'm going to play this variation of Shadow. Dude, this hand, or this last turn cycle was just punted all the way around. Like, not cast into the fire on the expedition map, not bowmaster the consider. Gotta stop reading chat. Mega Nice Boy, thank you so much for the follow. Hope you're having an awesome Sunday. No, you're good. You're good. Like, league matches, I don't think matter my fault. Or matter my fault. I don't think league matches matter much at all. So, when I play in a league, I'm basically just, like, clicking buttons and talking to chat. Like, I would rather have the conversation than worry about winning or losing. So, bestowing the Mage Bane Phoenix here would let me get down a Shadow if I want to. Been watching for a while, usually while I'm drunk. I respect the honesty. I'm for it. The only way to get through a mic stream, let's be real. I mean, we're ready to go at a moment's notice. You think I willingly get through my own streams? Come on. All right. You've got a Lotus Field. You've got a One Ring. Like, if they go to tap this, I'm cast into the firing it. I guess I should just play out the shadow. Just like make sure that they are aggressively dead next turn if they don't kill me. I'll target artifact. So because we do that before the counter actually gets put on it, they don't get to draw a card. Just go ahead and yield through the turn. But no, like, I think the biggest thing that people miss over when it comes to Shadow in terms of, like, trying to get better at Shadow is just not having a plan. Like, going into matchups with the idea that I'm just gonna battle rage people and win instead of I've got, like, a specific game plan that I'm trying to enact. My shadow getting twiddled? It is. Okay. You're going to take 5 and go down to 3, theoretically. Notably, Magebane Lizard does not target. So if they do One Ring again, they don't, like, get protection from Magebane triggers. Into the Flood Maw. Okay. Gift a tapped fish. Thankfully, we had to make them do this, like, inside of combat. I don't know why they didn't into the Flood Maw first and then Twiddle. They would have taken too much or too less damage. Mm-hmm. Now what do we got? Cast a Magebane Lizard. Do you have another copy of Into the Flood Maw? Do they? And they were about to use it like during my main phase. Okay, well, that's gonna do lethal to you because now I got a Bowmaster trigger as well. Bowmaster, Magebane does not keep track on that Magebane. It keeps track like relative to the player. So just because they bounce the Magebane or replay it, they still lose equal to like the total number, not the total number that this instance of Magebane saw. All right. Nice that we were able to get that one despite my turn 2 mega punts. Okay. Part of me wants to save this Mishra's Bauble for after I play Magebane just to try to get Shadow a little bit bigger. I don't think I can really afford to, but... I'm also not going to crack this Bauble until my next main phase so that my opponent can't twiddle my land and prevent me from casting a Magebane here. If I like scry off Bauble, then they could twiddle my blood crypt, or I guess Raucous Theater on my upkeep. And I wouldn't be able to cast the Magebane here, and I don't want that, so... We're all drunk most of the time here, too. True. True. Okay. I don't think I have anything I can draw off Bauble, but here we are. Bolt's pretty good. Bolt would let me get down Shadow next turn. Brazier of Tumbling Sands. Bet they're digging for a land. Hold it. Hold it. Okay. That's actually a very, very good draw. So that lets me get down Shadow while still being able to hold up Bowmaster. And then next turn I can like bolt myself or something. I would love to pick up a win against Twiddle Storm round 1. Nope. Bowmaster. Oop. $18. So Bowmaster, Army Token, Army Trigger off Vizier, Mage Bane, Bolt, Mage Bane Trigger, Shadow, lose 1, 2. All right, let's think. I'm probably just going to myself. Like, it doesn't matter unless I draw Battle Rage. If I draw Battle Rage, I'd rather point these triggers at myself. And that's probably enough of a reason. I wonder if they would discard an Into the Flood Maw if they had one. All right. I'm not going to cast out a Phoenix here because if my opponent does have like an Into the Flood Maw, if I fetch shock, if I played out Phoenix and they Into the Flood Mauled my Mage Bane Lizard, I could just be dead. And that sounds pretty bad for me. So I think we'll skip doing that. Want to make sure if they did Into the Flood Ball my Mage Bane, I could recast it. If they did it during like my main phase or combat. I don't think that 2 damage is worth it. All right. Despite all our punts, we get there. So I got this text earlier from an unknown number that just says, I don't know if y'all can read it, unknown number, just says like SMH, why mad? And I was like, I have no idea who this person is. No idea who the number is. Like Googled it, couldn't find anything, whatever. Like SMH, why mad? With a bunch of like crying face emojis. And then I got a text message an hour and a half later, like just now, that just says, my bad. Like clearly this person messaged the wrong number. It's just like SMH, why mad? I'm like, what? I don't know why it made me laugh so much. All right, this hand's atrocious. Like, why mad? I didn't know I was. All right. Don't love this hand, but it's a little bit better. So it's really funny. Because I think this happened to Spike the other day too. Why Mad Mike? Couldn't tell you. Where he decided to register elves and was talking about how like hadn't run into an energy deck or like a Jeskai control deck in a while, and then just like ran into one. Just randomly ran into Jeskai control. And like hadn't played against Wrath of the Skies in forever. Registers elves, runs into Jeskai control. Same idea. Like I've been playing all of these blue, black, X shadow decks that I feel really good against Jeskai control. With Stubborn Denial and Counterspell and whatnot. And then it's just going to be, oh, here's the match that you register a non-blue shadow deck, or the league you run a non-blue shadow deck, and you're going to run into Jeskai control. And I just think that's like hilarious. And I can't play out this shadow because Wrath of the Skies. Teferino. All right. Let's see what we surveil into before I make any decisions. Nope, don't want that. Let's see if this resolves. Ben, what's up? Gonna fetch Shock, Windmill Slam the One Ring. I might try to save this like Shadow Phoenix for post Wrath. Good top deck. We got to Thoughtseize first, because if they have a Subtlety, I need this Unholy Heat online to kill it. This Thoughtseize gives me Delirium. They did have the Wrath. They have Counterspell, Narset plus Days Undoing. If I take Wrath, they can't pitch Solitude. Days Undoing's dead with the Bowmaster. But if I take Solitude, I risk them being able to counterspell my Phoenix. So I guess I take Solitude, hard cast Phoenix. See if I can bait out the counterspell. Come on. No bait counterspell. So they cannot Narset plus Days Undoing this next turn. But they can Wrath the Skies. And hold up Counterspell. I was about to make some comment about like, oh, Thoughtseize would be like the best possible draw. So we take the Counterspell. Do I want to take the Counterspell? Yeah. Shadow's a 6/6. So I can't Phoenix. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I can't Unholy Heat my own Shadow because it just dies. So I guess I should have said Street Wraith into Thoughtseize would have been the best possible draw. So that would have just been lethal. Got a Narset. Am I supposed to kill it now, or am I supposed to respond to the Days Undoing? Like, if they hit like a prismatic ending, it really doesn't matter, right? But, like, I want them to put the Days Undoing on the stack. It's like, this can change up what they decide to get based off what I do. Definitely what I was afraid of, is maybe they would just put the Days Undoing on the stack. I get to Unholy Heat in response, and life is good. I can Phoenix. No, still short on Phoenix. Still have a Days Undoing that we know about. I think I should have waited. I think I should have waited. Okay. Does nothing. I could go for the Upkeep Bolt. I don't think it's worth it. Now I will. So if they do have a counterspell, they got to tap down pretty low and I get a full new hand. All right. But yeah, I think I should have waited on the Unholy Heat. Because if they did find that Leyline Binding, they have to decide between Leyline Binding and going for the Days Undoing. So at least they have to make the choice. And if they go for the Days Undoing, then like we just kill the Narset, untap, kill them. But once I kill the Narset, it becomes, okay, they have to go for the removal spell. There is no other choice. Alright. Magebane Lizard. Are they... Did we see the One Ring? Did they, like, mill one over at any point? I don't think they did. So I don't think I want Cast into the Fire. Maybe Hearse. I don't think they're a Snapcaster deck, but... Nothing else looks particularly interesting. Maybe Charm Off. I just want more bodies. Terminate's bad. Collapse is fine. K Command. Dismember's bad. I know there is Solitude deck, but I think I'm just going to keep Battle Rage in. Just for the off chance that I get to, like, get a quick kill. Just board out a bolt. Call it a day. Nice to take game one, indeed. Blue-white control, never a deck that you really want to run into with a non-blue version of Shadow. Like reasonable-ish value hand. And opponents on a mulligan. Here's my 0-1 Nethergoyf. What are you going to do about it? I'm really shocked that they would archive over attune the narrative. I feel like that's right up the alley on things you want access to here. I could go for Thoughtseize. Try to run into a counter spell. Maybe Detective's Phoenix after. Leyline Binding, Tune, Flage. We're just taking Binding. Okay. Take Binding. Attack in. And go ahead and bolt you. So if they want to go for Narset, they can. And if they want to just go for Flage, then it doesn't kill my Nethergoyf. Plus I get like the extra point of damage for bolting main phase or during combat. Alright, what do you have? Flage, Narset, bunch of unknowns. not casting anything. We'll go ahead and fire off Bolt 2. Add a second instant to the yard, so if I Detectives Phoenix... yeah, if I Detectives Phoenix, I'm not shrinking the Goyf as much. Spell Snare. Let's bestow the... Army token. So shrink the Goyf by 1. But if they do kill the army token, I get to keep the bestowed target. Or not the bestowed target. Get to keep the Phoenix around. Words are tough. Two answers is not what I wanted to see. Now I hit them for 2 and they get to Flage. Doesn't do a whole lot for me. I could get back Nethergoyf, but I would be getting it back as a 0/1. Just immediately die back to Flage. Second Leyline Binding definitely hurts. So get back Flage, hold up Spell Snare. Go ahead and take you out. All right. Let's get a Theater, see if we can help out this Tarmogoyf a little bit, or Nethergoyf. Sure. Go. Instant. Land. Sorcery, because I got another one in hand. And creature. All right, Narset. Be nice to me. Just whiff. Just whiff. You know you want to. Find like a counter spell. Cleansing Wildfire, really? Okay. Maybe it's just me, but I feel like Cleansing Wildfire decks are wild. Literally, pun intended. That just like never seems like the thing I want to be doing in a game of Modern is sorcery speed, blowing up my own flagstones to... Like, I guess it helps with Narset a little bit. Or it helps with Flage a little bit, but... I don't know. Guess I'm old school. Force of Negation. Exiling Spell Snare. I probably still need to just kill Narset, right? I could ping them to 6. Hit for 3, down to 3. That is lethal if they don't have anything. Survey says. Two and 0. What a weird series of matches. Dead, thank you so much for the follow. Hope you're having an awesome Sunday. Appreciate you coming around and hanging out. Twiddle Storm into blue-white Narset Days Undoing. I don't know what higher power we ticked off today, but... Based off that, we should see Tron this round. Ooh, Mark Confidant. Also forgot to move that over. I think we pointed out last time how much we love their username. Okay. They said hello again. I said, yo, still love the username. I think I'm gonna go Thoughtseize and try to like limit the 2-drop potential a little bit. So yeah, take a Johnny, hope they whiff off for a turn or 2. But in time for the 5-0. Well, we're still a few matches away from any potential there. The afternoon Shadow decks are still good against energy. I wouldn't say they're good against energy, but it also depends a lot on how you build your deck. Like, I think the more 1-mana spot removal you have, the better you're going to be against energy. But it's going to be very difficult to make a list where you're actively good against them instead of just trying to scrape by. But having access to something like Battle Rage as a backdoor, like oops, I win button is really nice. Like, there's always a chance that opponent doesn't hit something here, takes us or attacks us with a Guide of Souls. We like find another fetch land and get to fetch, shock away this Fable, play out a Shadow, and maybe set up like Bolt ourselves with a lethal Battle Rage. But it depends on quite a few factors. Namely, us hitting a second land, or we can't even cast Battle Rage. See, step one. It's a process. Now we fetch and shock and play out this Shadow and pray to a higher power that it doesn't bite us in the ass. I always hate that the Boros energy decks like get to play multiple parlors, and it never looks like out of place. But I feel like if we ever tried to play multiple underground city or undercity sewers in Dimir, it would just look like the worst thing you've ever seen in your life. Okay. So opponent kept something on top. We know that they have an arena and a marsh flats in hand. If I were to keep something on top here, it would have to be like maybe a discharge, static prison, flage. Yeah, we're definitely going for the potential kill. So fetch, shock, blood crypt, bolt ourselves, battle rage, a shadow. But I would like to hit you in the face for a large amount of damage. Do you accept? One hundo. One hundo on stream. How do you beat energy? You just battle rage them for 19. What do you mean, how do you beat energy? Kind of a question is that? Just hit him with the old razzle dazzle. Do I even want Magebane Lizard? Usually I bring in Magebane Lizard just because it's like, here's this thing that stands in front of a lot of their cheap creatures. Can't believe energy is still playable in the Rakdos Death Shadow format. My man. Correct answers only. I'm just not going to bring in the Magebanes. Short mana value. probably fine. Holy shit, it's my internet crush. YouTube's wild. I just don't see anything. Maybe Mage Bane's probably better than a Kolaghan's Command. I could get behind that. But I just don't see anything else where I'm like, Mage Bane is actively better than this other card. But I am dead serious. There was a brief period where I was like, oh, I wonder what would happen if I just maxed out on Battle Rages. And that was my plan against Energy. Is I'm just going to go into it with 4 copies of Battle Rage. Hope I see a Shadow. But I will say, let's need to find you. Might die to a Ragavan. Who knows? Love to see a Bolt. Bolt Unholy Heat. Nope. We find a Bolt / Unholy Heat. I mean, it's okay, I guess. Yeah. Duskmourn has a new card. If I can find it. Demonic Council. If you haven't seen this card. 1 in a black. Search your library for a demon card. Reveal it, put it into your hand, and then shuffle. Delirium. If there are 4 more card types, 1 card is your graveyard. Instead, search your library for any card, put it into your hand, then shuffle. Demonic Tutor, if you have Delirium, is super sick. Like, Delirium's something we can get in basically every Shadow deck fairly easily. Tutor for Battle Rage. Tutor for a threat. Kind of like what Traverse wants to be, but can get Battle Rage. Getting Battle Rage is huge. I was thinking about this card and going like all in on more of the Delirium style. Oh, they have Mage Man Lizard. Okay. Going all in on like the Delirium style package. And then I was thinking like, well, what if you don't have Delirium? How bad is this to go for a demon card? And then I realized that, 1, it says demon card. It does not say demon creature. So my understanding is cards with like Changeling have all card types in all zones. So you could go get like a nameless inversion, worst case scenario. You could also go get a... Where are you? I know you're here somewhere. Scourge of the Skyclaves. Scourge of the Skyclaves is a demon. The wheels are turning. We might get to make Demonic Tutor playable in Modern. And I really don't know if you can ask for more. All right. I think I'm going to get a basic swamp here just in case of Blood Moon. I think it's like kind of free to play around it a bit. Take 1 off the lizard. But I'm excited for that Demonic Tutor card. Raptor. Amped Raptor. Flagon Exile. Go away.
What I think of Flage.
How do I want to approach this? I can shoot myself. I probably just need to like play land, shadow, and a nethergoyf. And accept that they can like die to discharge. Which you liking more right now, Dimir or Rakdos? Well, this is the first league I've played with Rakdos in like a hot minute. In current modern, I'd probably say Dimir is more consistent. Like, counter spells are just really, really effective. Celestial Purge on my Nethergoyf. Okay. Terms and conditions are acceptable. Blade of the Onion spawn. Dude, I went through a full search yesterday of just like every demon card, every demon card, every shapeshifter that had like the changeling ability. I was going crazy yesterday. All right, we'll take 3. Go to 7. Goblin Bombardment. All right, so let's attack in. Ah. Go away, ads. That was so loud. I'm sorry. Okay. If they've got a flage, what does this look like? They flage me down to 3 or down to 4. Shoot me with the bombardment. I'm pretty sure if they have flage, I'm just dead and can't win. Don't believe I have any avenues of victory through a flage. Multiple chain to the rocks and a purge. Gross. Guess we'll just go ahead and get the raptor dealt with. That's rough. Second chain to the rocks. Now it's like, it's got to be a shadow off the top. And they've got to draw dead. What happens when you TBR someone, they come in swinging. Not quite it. I'm not a big fan of Magebane Lizard out of their side. I feel like all in all it does more to them than it does to me, but... Alright, so they've got Hasty Giganta next turn. But it's okay, because we're top decking another Shadow. It's not top decking a Shadow, but we can take out a Chain to the Rocks, and that's pretty sick. I would like my Shadow back. No attacks. Flip a Goblin Bombardment. Come on. Draw dead. Draw dead. I'll never talk trash about Molten Collapse again for the rest of this stream. So they die. Last card in hand is Giganta. Magebane pings me for 1. Battle Rage swings through for lethal. Take that, Battle Rage non-believers. Boop. Oh, Molten Collapse supporters, I apologize. I'm not going to say it's great, but it was pretty solid right there. You guys win this round. Mark, GG's indeed. Like, that was a super lucky top deck game, too. That Molten Collapse off the top rope. That was all luck, no skill. That collapse was good. Like, this is definitely the one matchup that I think Collapse has any sort of legs, and just happening to see it against, like, the hand where you did have the Chain to the Rocks or Static Prison effect. All right, we're on the play. We've got a nether goyf and some lands and a shadow and stuff. I'm on chain over prison and 0 rings currently. Yeah, so like I brought in cast into the fire, just didn't know if you were on rings or not. And the molten collapse was 1 in the main anyway. All right, we're just going to go ahead and play out the nether goyf. If they haven't answered to it, I've got like a follow-up shadow. List. It should be right there. Arid Mesa. Is this another energy opponent, or is this like Ruby Storm? Ugh. Ugh. I hate everything about this. I think I'm just taking force so I can just bolt them, get a bunch of extra damage coming through. One ring and Supreme Verdict is disgusting, and I hate everything about it. Well, I'm not hasting a shadow with Counterspell and Force of Negation. Like, one way or the other, they're going to be able to stop Hasty Shadow. But I could see an argument for taking the Counterspell, just to have a chance at it. But I do still think I'm bolting them. We need a fetch land next turn. That's what we need. So they surveilled over. All right, what you got? Got a Flage. I don't really care about Flage, so I think I'm just taking Force. So they can't force my Phoenix. I'm going down to 8. Down to 5 off the Bloodstained Mire. So I've got a 7/7 shadow, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 exactly. Right? Is my math off? Here's a shadow. Here's a bestowed Phoenix. Wraith, Thoughtseize. I know. I was one off, but in a fine way. They had to have top decked another Force to stop me from killing them here. Yeah. So this is why we take the counterspell force instead of like the One Ring. We just get to leave those cards stranded in hand if they don't top deck and answer in the next like turn. But if they top deck and answer, we're losing that game anyway. Even if we take the One Ring, they just verdict away our board. They've got force negation to keep us from hasting up a shadow and get to follow it up with like a One Ring or something. Like, we're not winning the game if it goes past turn 3 or 4. So what have we got? We've got Cast Into the Fire. We've got Mage Bane. Hearse to help out with Flages. Everything else is meh. Terminate go. Dismember go. I think I'm going to cut Molten Collapse and K command here. Just like trim some spot removal. Call it a day. But it's just a matter of giving them like the fewest amount of possible top decks. Like a value hand, but not really that much value. Guess theoretically it could be anything. Okay. Good afternoon. I want to make a deck in paper with no rings. What deck would you recommend the most? Thinking Dimir Murktide. Thanks for your time. I mean, Dimir Murktide's a very solid option for sure. Kind of just depends. Are you wanting to play something more control-y, more aggressive? If you're wanting to like play a control style deck that can turn the corner a little bit better, than Murktide's like right up there in your reasonable answers. Going for the Raucous Theater here instead of playing the Nethergoyf on turn 1. So if they do have like a Galvanic Discharge, I can hopefully grow the Nethergoyf out of range and make them like use more cards. Corey, what's up? It has been some time, hasn't it? Hope everything's going well in your neck of the woods. I missed some follows. Sorry about those. Barkus, Zephyr, and Lil Nimble. Thank you all so much for the follows. Hope you're all having awesome afternoons wherever you're at in the world. Appreciate you coming around and hanging out. Thinking Domain Zoo and Gorios, but I think they're not consistent enough. I think Zoo is very consistent, but I actually like Zoo without the whole Leyline of the Guild Pact plan. I'm just firing off this bolt. Yeah. Wait, what just happened? Why didn't the Galvanic kill the Goyf? Because the Goyf was a 3-4. So Galvanic was only doing 3. Now that one will kill the Goyf. Go for a hearse. See if this eats a counter spell, and then I can follow it up with another Nether Goyf. He had 5 energy, didn't need a tune. No, he surveilled the tune off the Elegant Parlor. Didn't cast it. So he had no energy when he cast the discharge. All right. Verdict or One Ring? One Ring. So I'm a big proponent of like make good habits and exiling or drawing in response to the protection trigger from the One Ring is not a good habit to form. Because that's how you get like Bowmaster and Bowmaster pinged. So even if your opponent's tapped out, like just do it correctly. It'll save you a bunch of like headaches in the long run because you don't have to risk getting got. I don't think I'm going to cycle this troll just in case I hit some more lands. All right. I could go for the Boggart. It's really ironic that I drew like one of the one plays that made it so I would have wanted to cycle the troll so that I could go like Boggart plus Goyf plus Phoenix. Let's see what they want to do about this. I don't want to just hit them. Anybody else see Teferi pop up right there? All right. Start with swinging a Nethergoyf at them. Okay. We'll boggart, nuke their yard. And I think I am just going to go ahead and bestow this Phoenix. Go ahead and use up my mana. What do we got? Pretty solid. Start by attacking. See if anything changes up. Surveil a flooded strand into the yard. Okay, subtlety to trade with my Harbinger or Trawler. This thing. Creature right here doing the trolling. Leave behind a Phoenix. Let's escape a Nethergoyf. Creature. Have a smaller creature. Yeah. Just thinking for like Phoenix purposes. Creature, sorcery, artifact, land. Now I can do an instant instead of one of these. And we'll go ahead and Bowmaster, and I'll ping Teferi just so they can't bounce anything. Like they can't get an extra draw, can't bounce anything. Feels like they got another copy of Wrath the Skies. That is my immediate guess. Yep. So, artifact, land. Oh, I have to exile the Phoenix if I want to get the Nethergoyf back. So it's probably just not worth it. Or I can see what I draw next turn before I make the decision. Why can't you hit a Planeswalker? They find the... Oh boy. That one hurts. So, shadow off the top. Not quite a shadow off the top. They get back Flage. I guess they can't yet. See if this resolves. This would let me get back the Nethergoyf and Phoenix. So artifact, land, creature, instant. You top deck a counter spell. Arguably worse than a counter spell. Put it on the bottom. Because it's not winning me the game. Shadow off the top rope. Oh, give me the shadow. Give me the shadow. Are we fetching and trying to high roll it? Little deck thinning. Show me the shadow. Show me the shadow. No. That does nothing. Alright, let's see what the next card was. I'm gonna regret it. I don't regret it. I regret it very little. Oh man, so close. We still have to play game 3. I don't think there's anything I'm changing. Maybe drop a Battle Rage for just like another bolt, but I think percentage-wise, it's pretty minor. I kind of like the idea of having Battle Rage for the Phoenix kill. I've got like 2 looks at a fetch land. Man, Swamp, why can't you be a fetch land and make this easy? Okay. It's a bad matchup. I'm going to try to high roll. If I just like top deck a fetch land or 2. Okay. We'll accept that. Wrath, counterspell, discharge. Big discharge because it sets up these wraths. Hope you do got a heater. They usually do. It's the name of the game against control. They gonna have heaters. It's like all their cards are just good against us. Steam Vents is funny because that currently means that they can't cast Wrath of the Skies on 3. Ooh, that's a good draw. That's a good draw. Am I just double hasting up shadows and hoping they can't recover? We know 5 of their 6 right now. And if their 6th isn't a white source, or if they don't top deck a white source, then I could just run away with like Shadow plus Phoenix. Is this a subtlety? I think that might have been a subtlety. And I'll save this Nethergoyf just in case they do find the white source. Dang it! Ugh. Okay, well, we do get to keep our Phoenix around at least. So we've got some kind of pressure. Boggart's Trawler's not bad. It stops Flage. I think I just cast it now. Or, no, I play out the Nethergoyf now. Do I play out the Nethergoyf now? No. Play out the Boggart. A Flage go up to 7. I've got to play one of them. Like, if they flage away my threat and I have no follow-up, that's not great for me. They could Wrath the Skies and take the Goyf. That's kind of fine. So, land. Land we win, right? Hit 2 creatures. Phoenix doesn't shrink the Nethergoyf. Okay. That is a surgical extraction out of blue-white control that they just paid 2 life for, so neat. Thoughtseize would bring them down to 1, and they wouldn't be able to fetch anymore. Probably better to just Trawler. Opponent's weak-willed. Opponent saw we had a graveyard and said, you know what? I've got just the answer to that. You have something else too? Brosif! Brosif! Stop it! You can't have every, like, free exile effect in the world. Yeah, they just have counterspell at the moment. Alright, here's a Goyf. I've seen you do well with Rakdos Shadow, and Dimir's Shadow is the real tech, just to go back to Grixis. So, Grixis is not the sum of the best parts between Rakdos and Dimir. Like, Rakdos and Dimir do well because they have very specific game plans, and they act on those. But, like, Grixis doesn't get the good counter spells from Dimir, and it doesn't get the aggression from Rakdos. You're just like stuck in the middle with a less aggressive deck. All right, they kept on top, so it's got to be Wrath of the Skies, right? Or tune the narrative into die. Surprised they would keep tune the narrative on top, because I guess that means Wrath of the Skies is still an answer, but you have to have Wrath of the Skies as the next card anyway. All right. Opponent's not unhappy. They're not unhappy. They're not salting off. It's one of those situations like you don't really want to, like, oh God, don't be like this, opponent. FGCK, thank you so much for the Twitch Prime sub. Greatly appreciate it. Welcome to the subscribers. Enjoy access to all of our sweet Death Shadow emotes. OP was 4 over. So... Llanowar got it right. Okay. Okay. First off, let's jot down opponent's username, because I am a person who is, I like to think, pretty understanding. Give me 1 second. We're getting receipts before anybody asks. Oh, somebody's gonna clip that. Okay. I will be nice and hear out my opponent, and if opponent fails their half of the bargain, then we will blast them all over social media, and I'm going to feel like I earned some amount of compassion from the universe. Okay, I'll give you the full backstory. Opponent asked if I was 4-0. OP happy, chat not. OP's happy. I'm fine with it. OP asked if we were 4-0. I said I will be if this ends favorably. They said this is over. I lost. I have nothing in hand. And then they just asked if I'd be willing to scoop. Or if I would be willing to split. Asked if I'd be willing to split. I'm not going to get into terminology because then it does get into the gray area of offenses. But they said that they have a store they're working with somewhere else. Not going to say where. That is working on sponsorship opportunities. And they're trying to put up results to have a chance with this store. They offered a split. And for the sake of good karma coming from the universe, we decide to take it. Because I don't know what opponent's going through. I don't know if they're honest about it. I don't know if they're not. At the end of the day, they gave up more than they would have won, more than half of what they would have won from the league. So, if they were lying, I got it. If they weren't lying, then they got the same amount of prizes than as they would if I had taken the win. The only difference is they get a trophy instead of me. Yeah, only if they send you the stuff. But that's why we screenshotted messages and screen name so we could just go blast the ever-living shit out of them on social media. I don't like it. Best case scenario, you help someone get opportunities they wouldn't have earned otherwise. Maybe. I don't know their situation. It's not on me to judge. I'm just here to play. And in this case, it's positive. I don't know if I'd say positive EV because I could lose the last one. If I lose the last one, then I end up positive. If I win the last one, I end up exactly what I should be. So it's even EV. Just tweeted, I got him. Pave, NDM, or MDN, and Numbskull, Nuclear Fish. Thank y'all so much for the follows. We still have another match too. But like the EV ends out the exact same. If I lose this last match, I end up positive. If I win this last match, I end up net even. I just don't get the trophy. But we know from the stream that we got the trophy. Even if it doesn't show up. We get the metaphorical trophy. And again, I get the good karma. I feel like I have helped the universe. Like Dogfish said, it only pays off if they send the stuff. And they did. So, opponent is a player of honor. I'm going to tell you my winnings go to a soup kitchen next time we play So Scoop. I mean, if you send receipts, we'll talk about it. Like, you always have to understand that I'm playing for the content of the matches. I'm not playing for the trophies, and I'm not playing just to like try to aggressively 5-0 every match. I'm playing to produce good matches of Magic. And at the end of the day, like a scoop or a draw or whatever doesn't change how the actual match went. Mike's rich. He's got that Twitch money, that like $100 a month rolling in it. Wild Nicodle. We're up against Zoo. Trophies of the friends we made along the way. Now you're getting it. Do I want to unholy heat this Nicodle while I can? Do I want to Thought Seize to try to snipe like a Kavu? I think I like Thought Seize for a Kavu. Or Scion. Take a Scion. How long will it take Zoo to drop Wild Nicodle and Ragavan for Guide of Souls of Johnny and Ocelot? I've seen him running Flage already a lot of the times. And I've seen some with a Johnny. I don't think I've seen Zoo with Guide of Souls. I don't think I've seen him with Amped Raptor either. It's a little surprising. All right, so we pass turn. If opponent goes to fetch, we respond with fetch of our own, unholy heat the Wild Nicodle. Get that out of here. The other one drops seem way better than the one drops they already play. I'd be pretty inclined to agree. Blood Crypt. More Wild Nicodle. Wild Nocateel, as some would say. I need like a bigger threat. Need a Nethergoy for a shadow. Sometimes I think about the old Zeus or Suicide Zoo list, miss Become Immense. I do not miss Become Immense, but I do miss some of the old Suicide lists. Oh boy. Oh boy. Uh-oh. Had me in the first half deck. Shadow Zoo, give your shadow all abilities with Scion. And Tribal Flames yourself so you can play another shadow. The real big brain moves. Let's see if they use up like a bolt or a binding or something. Yep. Okay, so I need to fell the Profane this Wild Nicodle. And then hopefully top deck like another big threat to go with this first Nethergoyf. Did opponents stay true to their words? You mean did the last opponent split? Yes. They did. They did pay us. I had the trade off screen. I got a bunch of screens. We got a screen over here, screen over here, screen over there. Uh-oh. Take my chest, please. This is coming from the chat that was like aggressively telling me I was making bad decisions. That the chat were referring to. The chat that was like, you're getting played. What a terrible choice. Ah. So cast into the fire hits Scion. And I've got nothing for Zoo. Not that there's a lot I'd be boarding in anyway, but I've got like actual nothing for this matchup. Maybe I could have brought in Hearse if I saw Flage. 5-mana Charmal. And it's like 2-mana Scion. I'm like, ha! Here's my dragon. Wait, give me 3 more turns. I too can 5-mana dragon. Mike's gonna get paid by winning the lottery. I've already decided, like, if I win the lottery, I'm going to get a big tour bus and just, like, pay somebody to drive me around to Magic events around the country. It's going to be my thing. They'll never see me again. I'll stream from, like, a minivan somewhere. Lose to Zoo just to not get blamed for conceding a 5-0. I mean, if I lose to Zoo here, I get the same payout as if I 4-1 and got the loss anyway, so who's the real winner here? I'm also about to get Scion, and this is going to be like egregious. Just throw power at people from the balcony. Crumple up a Mox Sapphire to hit somebody with. Like, but the win percentage in our spread. Oh, I'm 100% putting it down as a win in the spreadsheet. Opponent admitted that it was over. They couldn't do anything. Don't do it. Don't do it. Should we play Feed the Swarm? I don't think so, but I mean, if you want to play Feed the Swarm, I'll judge silently, but it's not really a card I'm particularly interested in playing. Just Tend the Pest in response to their binding. No green mana! My only weakness. Could have just tear asunder the ley line. Could have. We had so many options available to us. The Shoba Brawler. All right. Let us... Oh, that's a pretty good draw, if we're being honest. Destroy target creature or planeswalker. Target Neshoba Brawler. You stub it. Haha. You absolute fool. Yeah, we didn't have them dead, right? 9, 10, 11, 12. So this is fine-ish. K-Command in this economy. Excuse me, K-Command is one of the most played modern cards at the moment. It's just a different K. Kozilek also, unfortunately, begins with that letter, and there's not much we can do about that. Oh. The evil one. The number of times that my Tron opponents have just like turn 1 Labyrinth, turn 2 any land, K-Command your 1-drop. And I am just beyond livid every time it happens. It's just like always there. Like, Tron shouldn't have an on-curve answer to a turn 2 or turn 1 threat. It's not like Dismember. Ragioli, give me the Formuoli. Thoughtseize. Part of me wants Thoughtseize. The problem is, if they have a Scion, they just get to play the Scion next turn anyway, and it doesn't really matter. So... but I need to bolt now. They can't, like, have stub up. It is bullshit. It's a bullshit card. It does way too much. Are they... Ooh. We'll just pass. Considering Tron was dead before it was printed, I'm happy to see Tron return at least. Was Tron dead? I don't know if I would ever say Tron was dead. I kind of feel like there's often this thing where people equate, like, not tier 0 with being dead. I think Tron's been a very functional deck for quite a while. I'm going to 9 off this. Ugh. See, had near 0 representation in top 8s. I think it had enough representation, like it would do really well in events from time to time. But I guess I'm just not a huge fan of saying like Tron was bad or Tron didn't have all this representation when it's just because Tron's like a deck that people can hate out if it gets extraordinarily popular. I think like that's healthy for a format. I think it's good for decks to be hateable when they're oppressive. All right, so opponent's last card's a lightning bolt. Shadow's good. Get a Phoenix. It's not a Phoenix, but we'll take that. I think we all see how this is going to play out, right? I acknowledge that Tron may have gotten a bit too much from MH3. Like, I don't even want to say I think Tron got a bit much at one time. And it's just a matter that, like, the rest of the format needs a little bit of help to adjust. So if I attack, I'm dead to a Leyline Binding off the top. Just 100% dead. Nothing I can do about it. If I don't attack, I get Shadow this turn into another Shadow next turn. I feel like such a coward here. Think they found the win? Or are they just firing this off for the sake of firing it off? If they just found 2 burn spells, then there's nothing I could have done. Like a bolt into Tribal Flames. And we need to go after one of these. Because if they do have like a stub or something, they'd have to have stub plus Leyline Binding to not die. And if that's the case, they still have to double block. I'm so good at this. Okay. Show me a top deck Tribal Flames. Alright. We'll take that. Alright. So 4-1 asterisk. Is that how we're calling this? Should have been 5-0. Won all your games, you get a trophy. Oh, wait. Oh, wait. I don't care. I'm happy about it. I helped somebody out. If they were lying, karma's not on my back on that one. So, pretty sweet. Like, that's a good showing for Rakdos. I do think Phoenix played a cool part in several matchups, especially in the control matchups. Like hasting up a threat after a Wrath and getting a bunch of damage in was really nice. Molten Collapse. I can't talk trash about Molten Collapse. So we'll take that. Yeah, beating Control twice was nice. Beat Jeskai, beat Blue White Narset Days Undoing. I wish we had some sort of sideboard plan for Control, but we really don't. Like Magebane, Lizard, and Prey. But we beat Boros Energy. We beat Blue White Narset. We beat Jeskai Control. We beat Twiddle Storm. Who would have put us in as having a chance against Twiddle Storm? That's dope. Yeah, I don't know. Rakdos felt solid. I think that if you run into a bunch of energy decks, like Boros and Mardu, not Jeskai, Rathus guys, but Boros and Mardu, I think this deck's got a lot of legs. But I think if you run into a bunch of like Jeskai, you're probably a dog. And I do think you have to overboard pretty heavily for Storm.